Welcome to the Weather Guru podcast for August 2023 Sunday edition. We're going to be talking about Hurricane Hilary, but first we want to look at the National Weather Service current hazards for our immediate lower 48 United States. Thank you for joining me. Please be sure to subscribe for the latest interpretation of the weather news as it happens here in the lower 48 and sometimes beyond. Right now, we're going to see here, we just have a big heat dome outside of Hilary. This is called an omega block pattern, where we have a ridge out west that's pulling a big bridge in the central part of the country here, and the jet stream is riding above and around that. This is allowing heat to build in the middle and the eastern part of the country. This is kind of like summer's last hooray, as we've got about approximately 2 to 3 weeks left of, the dog days of summer before we start getting in the cooler weather for the upper Midwest and the Northeast, as well as some parts of the mid-Mississippi Valley as well. Right now, we have heat alerts and heat advisories. There's been an ongoing theme all the way extending from Houston, Beaumont, all the way through Dallas-Fort Worth, Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Topeka, Kansas, Omaha, Nebraska, Des Moines, Iowa, Kirkland, Missouri, St. Louis, back through the Ohio River Valley here, Louisville, Paducah, you name it, Memphis. Those areas are going to be in those heat advisories through Monday afternoon into Tuesday morning, okay? So there's nothing new. It's just heat is going to be there. The good news is the humidity levels are not as crazy high as they were before, so it's not oppressive heat, but it is uncomfortable humidity. And so this is what we have for that area. Now, elsewhere, it's a beautiful day on tap for the Northeast, for the Mid-Atlantic, for the Southeast. It's just that we had these heat advisories in the middle of the country. And out west, the story in the Four Corners, Denver, absolutely nice, fabulous day for Casper, Cheyenne, Albuquerque, El Paso. But when we start getting out to the west, of course, we have the leftover remnants of Hilary that we're making its way on shore. Hilary's a tropical storm right now. We're getting the latest details on it right now here for Hilary. Hilary is a tropical storm. It's made landfall in Baja California. 60-mile-an-hour tropical storm. Pressure's down to 990 millibars. Has risen to 990 millibars. It's moving north at 23 miles an hour, and that's the saving grace. This storm is moving pretty fast clip. So Hilary will be all said and done by Monday night for Southern California. It'll be advanced into Nevada by then on Tuesday and making its way on up in the Mountain West. But the bad news is that there is going to be rain for the mountain areas. So if you're in the mountain passes area, once again, if you're in these mountain passes north of California and east of San Diego, California, and those mountain passes there in the San Joaquin Mountains, the San Bernardino Mountains, etc., you're going to get up anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of rain. Valleys will get 3 to 6 inches of rain. Now that may not sound like a lot, but for California, that is a lot of rain. And it could be some flooded side streets, and things of that nature. Let's take a look at that right now, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the courtesy of Radar Scope. Here's the radar out of San Diego. And you can see, as I put it in the motion here, most of the rain is generally heading up in a south to northwest fashion here. So it's raining on these oceanside communities here, and some rain, of course, in the mountains. There have been some flood watches and flood warnings extended from Palm Springs here. Flash flood warnings to Palm Springs, Indio, Coachella Valley, El Centro, Calexo, Brawley, those communities along the Salton Sea and northward. You're on a flash flood warning for Riverside County there. Now, this means that the rainfall rates could be up to a half inch to an inch an hour in 1 hour. This is likely. So if you're in those areas, you want to be careful. Palm Springs, Coachella, Cathedral City, Palm Desert, along 111, Highway 111, coming through Palm Springs, and those areas, Highway 74. You want to be careful. I-10 through Banning, those areas, Riverside. It's raining pretty hard now in Fullerton, Long Beach, Orange County, Inglewood, Los Angeles, Glenwood. Those heavier yellows indicate heavier bands of rain wrapping through here, as you can see, as the system continues to move north. Now, some of the high deserts here, you got to be careful for this rain. Victorville, Barstow, Palmdale, Lancaster, all of this rain is going to be pushing up towards your way here, as you can see here, as I widen the view out. This is what we're dealing with. We got the rotational low off coast here of San Diego here, and all this rain is pushing on through here north to northwest. This will continue to wrap around and continue to provide that moisture. Now, the good news is that it's helping out a lot of the drought-stricken areas here in along the Colorado River here, from Lake Havasu City down to the Yuma and those areas west of Phoenix and the West Valley too. So that's helping out the drought situation there. So that's one thing that we can count our blessings for. However, this rain is coming. Here's the LA radar. You can see this rain is coming down pretty hard from Pomona to 60. If you come along the 60 freeway there, the 99 freeway, Riverside, Pomona. Anaheim, rain is coming down very hard along I-5 from Santa Ana to Irvine, Mission Viejo, Laguna Niguel, and Long Beach is getting hit very hard here with heavy, heavy rain, and these yellows and reds are indicated here. So this is why we have the flash flood warning for all of LA County, Riverside County. All of those counties are reporting heavy, heavy rain, and this is where we have the flash flood warning. So something to keep in mind there. I just want to show you that visually here on the radar, what we're dealing with out in the Southern California area here. So that's where we have the hazards there, as you can see. Now, some chance there is a severe thunderstorm warning issued here is an orange. So anybody living in Las Vegas, Sparks, Henderson area, along Lake Havasu City, heading towards Yuma, all these areas are under a severe thunderstorm warning here. So you want to tell people, even all the way up through Elko and Winnemucca, Nevada, you want to tell these people here to be very careful going out, because thunderstorms can carry lightning, hail, and some low-level rotation could be possible. Tornado can't be ruled out, but with this system, it's more of a hybrid system coming in this area, but you can definitely get hail and lightning and some strong gusty winds up to 58, 60 miles an hour out of this system. So if you're not getting the rain, you will be getting some lightning and heavy gusty winds and some occasional downfalls, tropical downfalls, if you're north of California right now at this moment. So just something to keep in mind. So this has been your update. Now I want to also talk about the Atlantic Basin. We have a bunch of systems that are here. Tropical Storm Franklin has formed here just recently. This is of the 5 p.m. advisory. Just came out right now. We have Franklin, Tropical Storm Franklin, 45 miles an hour winds, pressure down to 1,002 millibars. It's moving west-northwest at 12 knots or 14 miles an hour. Now this is forecast to make a loop here and affect the Hispaniola, Dominican Republic, Haiti, and that area. So be on the lookout for that. Mudslides are very common in the area. There's high mountains of Hispaniola, up to 10,000 feet. Even though it may disrupt the circulation, the orographic lifting wrings out that moisture, and you can get a very, very heavy rainfall in here. So it could bring up to 10 inches of rainfall or more, a foot of rain, up into Dominican Republic, the mountains in Dominican Republic and Haiti, Hispaniola here. So we have to watch that very closely here, and I believe it's forecast to strengthen here. Let's go to that cone here. We just got Tropical Storm. Let me refresh the page. We just got Franklin on the map here. Tropical Storm Franklin here, and here it is right here. So the cone does take it back out to sea here. As you can see, this is subject to change. As you know, the longer days you go out, the less confidence we have in the forecast, obviously, okay? But in the first 3 to 4 days, you can see here, it is forecast to impact Western Dominican Republic, somewhere around Bermuda, coming on in there, and then making that loop back out to sea as a hurricane, okay? And possibly curving, missing Bermuda well 100 miles to a couple hundred miles to the south, okay? So it is forecast to become a hurricane later on in the forecast period. It's a tropical storm right now, and a lot of these storms make that loop. So this is going to be influenced, right now, it looks like it's going to be influenced by the Bermuda High or the Bermuda Azores High. It's going to make that curve around the western periphery of that high and go back out to sea. So that's good news, but it's going to be bad news for the Hispaniola, as the rain and mudslides could provide dangerous conditions there. It's a key messages here, note here, and by the National Hurricane Center. So we have Franklin, we have Tropical Depression 6 behind it, 35 miles an hour. This could become the next storm. This has a very high chance of development. It will get the G name. And then we also have Emily out here. It's forecast to not affect land at all. It's just a storm for mariners' interest and fish interest, but it's at 50 miles an hour, and it's continuing its little course out in the open Atlantic. And show you the cone on that. It's forecast to weaken to a depression hundreds of miles east of Bermuda, and it's not going to affect any land areas at all. It's just going to die out as a depression in the colder latitudes of the northern Atlantic. So that's Emily. Then we also have a system behind that, near the Cape Verde Islands here, as it's approaching here, has a low chance of development in 48 hours, but a medium chance, 60% chance in 6 days of development. This is going to become our next named storm here, an H named storm should it develop, okay? So we have all the storms. In this area here is just a disturbance here that's moving across the western Gulf of Mexico. Hurricane Center said they're going to send someone out to investigate probably by Tuesday, as it approaches the western Gulf, by tomorrow, as it approaches the western Gulf coastline by Tuesday. Has a 60% chance of development through 6 days. So a lot going on in the Atlantic. Like I said, the peak of the Atlantic season is between September 10th through October 10th, but we're already seeing these active storms here, and that's why the National Hurricane Center increased their outlook for more storms, because they saw this coming down the pipeline eventually here. And another thing too is the Central Pacific is clear, so Hawaii, you're clear, there's nothing going on there. And also I want to mention the Saharan dust layer is also easing up a little bit, not where Emily is or where this extra disturbance is, but what TD6 is, Tropical Depression 6 is, and what Franklin is. The Saharan dust layer is easing up. It's not as consistent and strong, so that won't be a factor in prohibiting the development of these systems. Now, there will be strong wind shear, westerlies coming across here, and there will be other factors, the internal layout of the system. But other than that, this system here, Franklin, looks very good, set to become a hurricane soon, and it will affect Dominican Republic and Haiti, like I said, as a strong tropical storm, if not hurricane. So it could be around, winds could be around 65, 60 miles an hour, 70 miles an hour when it makes that landfall sometime Wednesday night, Thursday morning, okay? And also this system here is going to be developing into a storm here, tropical storm, but we don't know if it's going to be south of Mexico. It may hit towards Brownsville. So anybody interested in the Brownsville, Corpus Christi, Harlingen area and southern Mexico border right there, be very careful. There is a tropical storm that could be developing here in the Gulf. Waters are very warm out here, and the only factors to be limiting it will be wind shear and how much of the jet stream or any frontal boundaries that may be coming across this area in due season. We'll have to wait and see. The computer models will tell us that later on. So thank you for joining me on this Weather Guru episode on Sunday. Get out and enjoy your day. If you're in the eastern 2/3 of the country, sunshine and hot temperatures and nothing should be nothing to keep you from going outside and enjoying your day for the rest of the day. Thank you very much, and we'll talk to you very soon.